Welcome to the start of a new series where I revisit older gear and I prove that you don't always have to buy the latest release in order to satisfy your needs. So for the first episode, I used this light recently to light an Under Armour AAU basketball announcement, and this is the GVM SD80S. So let's dive into why older lights, like this still makes sense in 2025. Now this is not a sponsored video, but I am going to talk about a product that was sent out to me by a brand later on in the video that works really well with this one. I'm also going to compare this to maybe like the top 5 competitors in 2025. So let's jump into the video. So for $120, let's see what you get. First of all, you get a really nice travel case with this. You also get the power cord that goes into it. But this is an 80 watt COB light, LED light, and it's daylight only, so that means it's 5600 Kelvin and it's around 3280 lux at 1 meter with the included reflector that comes along with the packaging. As far as the CRI and TLCI, they're both rated at 97 plus, which means skin tones should look pretty natural and decent, and that's determine whether or not you got melanin and stuff like that. There's other variables that come along with that, but the nice thing about this is that it uses a standard Bowens mount, and so that means that you can use pretty much everything on the market, whether it's going to be lanterns, softboxes, grids, so even some of those like high-end modifiers that people have been using a lot lately to add like style and character into their videos. Now let's talk about portability, because this is a super portable light at 2.6 pounds. It's extremely light, and I just gave it away. One of the biggest features that I like about this is that it has a built-in NPF battery plate. So that means this is extremely portable, and there's 2 ways to power this light. So not only do you get to use the included wall plug, you can also run this completely off of the NPF style batteries. And that allows this to be probably the most portable light in this price range, and we're going to be covering lights from about $120 to $200, right, as far as like the lights that this competes with in 2025. Now this does have basic lighting effects inside of this light, about 12, but because this is a daylight only, it's going to be things like lightning, TV, different stuff like that. Nothing groundbreaking, but it will, cover you in a pinch. So where does this sit in the market? I guess the biggest competitor that you will find in the market right now is the Amaran 60DS, and that one is about $135, and it's nearly 10 times brighter with its, hyper reflector that it comes along with it. And it has a better app, which is the Sidus Link app. Now, another one is the Godox SL62D, and it's $139 around there. It's bright, but it's plug-in only. So that means there's no portability to it. You have to plug it in, which kind of defeats the point of it being a smaller light, which makes that one good for studios, but it's not really good for taking it on the go. The Nanlite Forza 62 is the most expensive one on this list today. It's more professionally built. I mean, it's Nanlite, it has DMX support and a better fan design, but it's $100 more than this particular light, $110 more than this particular light, so it may not be the best option for you depending on your budget. The best overall light on this list that we're going to talk about from a competitive standpoint may be the SmallRig RC60B, which is also one of the newest lights in the market, period. At $199, it's also bicolor, has a built-in battery, USB-C, but it's a higher price point. So that one's another $80 more than this. So depending on your budget, it really depends on what's best for you. So why the SD80S, right? It's not the brightest, but it is the most portable in this price bracket. The dual NPF support is what makes this the most portable light. I mean, you don't even have to have a light stand when you use this. You can literally hold this in your hand because of the built-in battery light. This is probably good for, I don't know, small studios, interviews, live streams, different stuff like that, like really run and gun type setups, because you can just pick it up, throw in some NPF batteries and take it with you. The weaknesses of this, of course, is that it's only daylight and it's modest brightness. So, I mean, outside in like direct daylight, it's going to struggle in situations like that. For things like narration, like talking heads, interviews, different stuff like that. This is perfect for that, specifically because depending on where you're sitting, you won't have to have cables and stuff like that stretching all over the place. And let's think about it. Because this is a compact light, right? The reason you go out and buy something like this is for its portability. You don't buy something like this if the size and the ability to get up and go is not the most important thing. Otherwise, you would get a larger light, right, that you're going to require plug-in power and stuff like that. So when you're looking at portable lights, how portable they are is what makes it most important feature, right? So as far as its competitors, we talked about the Amaran 60DS. It also supports NPF batteries, but it's only through an external plate. Now that plate does come along with it, but it's not. It adds, more bulk to the setup, so you'll have to sit that on the light stand and stuff like that. Now the Nanlite Forza 60D also works with NPFs, but it's an added adapter, and that one also uses a V-mount as well, but again, it's added weight, so it's not as portable. Again, you have to have place for that. Of the list that we're talking about, the SmallRig RC60B is probably the most portable, and that one is going to have the built-in USB-C power delivery power, but the caveat to that is that once the battery dies inside of the light, then you can no longer use the light because it's dead, right? And you have to plug it in. So depending on where you are, it still is not as portable as this one, even though it has more features, maybe a better app, cost about $80 more. It still doesn't give you that true portability that this one does without needing to buy extra adapters. So that brings me to today's product that was actually sent out to me. Now, this was not a requirement of them when they sent this out. I'm actually going to be using this in an office update video that I'm going to be doing in the October-November timeline. This is the Axoon Top Rig battery charger for NPF style batteries. Now, the nice thing about this is that this has a display that allows you to see the batteries as they're being charged, what their current wattage is, what status they are based on color. So if they were dying or low, they would be red, yellow, green, etc. And you can see that this even lights up when it's not plugged in. Now this comes with a 100-watt power delivery or PD charger that is the cable and the wall plug that allows this to be charged. Now the nice thing about the price point for this, it's $49.99. It comes with that wall plug and the power, so that's a 100-watt output. But going back to this allows you to basically charge at 100 watts total altogether, and this has safety features so that it will drop down to 5 watts of power just to keep the battery kind of trickled, if you will, but it's going to make sure that to protect the life of the battery. And because these are the batteries that I use with that light, I thought that this would be a perfect time to include this in it, even though this was not a requirement. I have been enjoying this, and I also use the cable to power my cell phone and things like that when I'm not using this directly. So all in all, this has been a really good product. These two things paired together are a really nice combination. So in closing, this handled my Under Armour announcement video perfectly. Go watch that video. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to watch it in its entirety. But look at the clips that I have up here and you let me know whether or not you think this did a good job. I did pair this with another light that's going to be on the Not Obsolete series in the future, but I had this as a lantern in that dark gym, and this basically lit the scene while the other light was basically just the soft key light on the face. So one thing that I want to stress in this series is that an upgrade isn't always necessary. Sometimes you can go out and get something like this that's older and it's going to do the job just perfectly. So the pros on this is, of course, the price. It's $120. I mean, a buy in for or pay in for is allow you to get this in $30 every 2 weeks for a paycheck, depending on what your budget is. And it's super mobile, like with the NPF plate built directly into this. I think this is the only one on the market in this price range with that feature. You let me know in the comment section if you know another one. And it's Bowens mount, so it's not stuck with a proprietary, connector in the front or things like that. So you can use any third-party tools on the market to use along with this. And the cons of this, obviously, it's only a daylight, it's not bicolor, so that means you're limited in the types of things that you can do, and the app isn't the best. But because the features on this is kind of just straightforward, it's kind of just, what you need to get the job done, you really wouldn't be playing with the app anyway. There's no RGB settings or anything like that that you would need for the app. The interface for this is really nice. It's, you know, you have a really nice bright display and screen. There's one knob right there that basically controls whatever set you're in, whether you're in, you know, the effects, or you're just in the regular 5600 Kelvin. So it runs really well. As far as the fan, it's not that bad. So on set, most likely you will not hear that at all. And if you're using lav mics or, you know, boom mic or something like that, that's not gonna sound, you're not gonna hear that at all. But with that case, it's really nice. And so I think it's, you know, a really good light that you should be considering if you're on the market, specifically if you're budget conscious or you're worried about buying multiple lights and things like that. Also check the GVM website, because they typically will do a buy one, get one sale on their affordable lights from time to time. And I have seen this on there. But let me know your thoughts. What's your go-to budget light? If you've used any of those other lights that we talked about today, put information on that, what your thoughts are on those lights in the comment section below, where you think those may stack up against this. Also, if you're on the market, I will have the link for this in the description below. That's going to be an affiliate link. At no extra cost to you, I do get a commission if you decide to use those links to purchase this light. That helps support the channel so that I can continue to buy more of these products to do these type of videos. But you're under absolutely no obligation to have to use those links in order to purchase these products. A like or a subscription is free, and it definitely helps the channel push these things out in the algorithm. But as always, stay cozy in that crazy world, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.